Good morning to you all. Great to be here, although I should have taken my sneakers on, I think. Thank you for the invitation, and I should like to say a welcome to you all, especially the guests from abroad and from outside of this city. Welcome in Amsterdam. I'd like to introduce myself as the Chief Tax Inspector of this city. Yeah. And I will tell you about a decision we've made as a tax service. We've decided to adopt a more data-driven approach to our work. And I will tell you why and why now, and where we are right now, which is at a starting point, and how we will proceed. But first, I should like, I should like to start with a short introduction. Does anybody know what this might be? You can yell. You don't? It looks quite old, doesn't it? Well, it is. It is 744 years old, and it is the document where the city started. In the year 1275, about 1 kilometer from here, at the location of the Dam Square, right in the middle of the city of Amsterdam, my first and my most distant predecessor, the first tax inspector of Amsterdam, had his location. And he collected the tolls, the toll payments from everybody who crossed the dam in this period. And in that year, Count Floris V decided that the citizens of the small town around the dam no longer had to pay these tolls themselves. And that decision, that first tax law, has been written on this document. So you might say the city of Amsterdam, capital of the Netherlands, took its place in history for the first time with a tax regulation. That's a reason to be proud on for every tax specialist, and there are a lot of them, or at least a few of them around. I'm used to say a lot of them, but now today it's only a few of them. Okay, what do we do as a tax organization? First of all, we give opportunity for everybody to donate, to give your fair share to the city, to give your contribution to the city. And we do that for, say, 600 million euros a year. And next to that, we do the annual valuation of all real estate in the city, of all houses, of all commercial real estate and public real estate. That's another activity we do. Does anybody have an idea what is the value of all real estate in Amsterdam? You can yell. Is it more or less than $100 billion or euros? More or less than Bill Gates? More? More. Is it more or less than the value of the Apple organization? More. More over here. Truth is always in the middle, not in philosophy, but in taxes it is. In taxes it is. The value of all real estate in Amsterdam is about 300 billion euros in a whole. 200 billion for the houses, and 50 for commercial real estate, and another 50 for public real estate. So you might say, as an ezelsbruggetje, as we say, it's 3 times as much as Bill Gates, and it's about 1/3 of the Apple company. Okay, let's talk taxes now, and don't you dare to leave. Working methods. Sometimes I need my notes. Working methods, more data-driven. And why? The question why I like to answer going back to our basic values usually. Basic value for a tax organization is trust. It's trust. It's absolutely essential for a tax organization to be trusted by the citizens, and by the administration we work for. And that's why our organization has done its best to gain and regain that trust by being a solid and a reliable tax organization. And I dare to say to you that at this time, we are in a phase that while holding on these values, we are able to go further, to broaden our strategy in the direction of doing more with innovation. So that's the timing of our decision. Rabo has been 9 years ahead of us. It's good for the local tax organization to take this step now. How will we approach this? How will we approach this? First of all, we have a lot of data at our disposal. We have data collected from the citizens and the companies. We have data from third parties that we collect, and we have, of course, all the data the municipality has on all these domains in this municipality, and all open data, of course. So you might say, I think, a data scientist in a tax office must be in heaven. Really a lot of data there. Confidential data. The turnover of hotels is confidential, and a lot of public data as well. Our approach is that we have started a new team, a small team, another comparison to Rabo's, who started with 5. We started with 5 as well. A small team that is looking for improvements using all these data in our work. And I asked them to do that in 3 aspects of our work. There is, of course, the work process, the work process itself. There is the services for the citizens in the city, and there is monitoring, compliance, combating fraud. These are the 3 angles we work in. And I can give you a few examples, a little bit more concrete in these 3 points. Some of my employees who are here can have much more examples, but I'll give you 3. In the angle of the services, we have vulnerable people in the city as well. And they need and they have the right to have waivers, not to pay their taxes, to get waivers. And I expect it to be possible with the use of data that they no longer have to do applications, complex applications to get these waivers, but that we as a service, we as an organization, arrange it in a way that they get these waivers automatically, might say. In supervision, we have the possibility using data to work with predictions and to make predictions whether or not appeals against tax demands will be justified or unjustified. Now we have to test every appeal itself. Using data, we can take great steps in that. Okay, that is something about the approach. Who will we work with? Will we be doing that on ourselves? No, we won't. We will work with Centric. That's the organization that is providing us with software as a service, doing the basis work. And we'll work with a new partner, Dataiku, and we hope to get Dataiku in our trio because of its knowledge and experience on artificial intelligence, data approach, and innovation skills. So we'll work together in that trio, and of course we'll work together with all services within the municipality and all tax services in the country as well. There are about 3,000 staff, employees, in all local tax organizations together. And I'm quite sure that if we combine our efforts and combine our skills, we'll have much better possibilities than if we try to do it as a tax organization in Amsterdam on ourselves. Okay. Let's go to the question. I'll have a look. I'm the only one with notes. And it slows down a little bit, but have a look. Data-driven working methods. Results, no. Okay, yep. The question over here is whether or not we will take a radical change to a completely different method, data-driven, and I expect us not to do that. I expect us to have a hybrid way of working for the years to come. I expect that we stay working with the systems, with the applications, with the SaaS applications we work with, and what we combine that with the data-driven approach that we will start working with. Simply because such a radical change will take too many risks and will not fit with our goal and our value of trust. But there is, as far as I know, no offer in the market for a radical change as well. So there's no partner, not even Dataiku, who could do that for us right now. Maybe in the future. Maybe in the future it will be possible in years to come to really leave the processes we use these years and take a radical another approach, and that will be spectacular for the way we work and for the organization and the staff as well. Something about the results. The results. What results can we expect? I expect it to be possible to go to a real-time real estate valuation. Next year, 2020, in January or February, we will do the valuation of all real estate again, and we'll do that in relation to the date 1 January 2019. That is the valuation date, that is the reference date. So you might say that the government in the Netherlands makes that valuation always at least 1 year out of time. That is how it works now, and that is fast enough for the past. But I'm quite sure it will not be fast enough for the future. And I hope and I expect that it will be possible to go to a real-time valuation. Same argument is important for debt cancelling, which is a huge social question, a social problem in the Netherlands and in this city as well. A lot of people are very successful, but there are tens of thousands who are really having difficulties being in society. Debt cancelling is important, and I expect the data-driven methods make it possible to be much more real-time working, helping in services of these groups. Then I should like to share with you some thoughts about conditions. And you've heard some from Rabo as well. Plenty of opportunities, but conditions, parameters as well. Certainly in the public sphere, and certainly in Amsterdam. The Amsterdam administration has high expectations in regards to privacy and transparency. We need absolute transparency to the citizens, but we also need transparency to the courts of law that we go to as a tax organization. These are important values nowadays and working in the data approach that will continue and improve. We must be verifiable. Thorough documentation methods, focus on accountability. Essential. Maybe external certification one time in the future. The new approach, it will have influences on our basic processes, on tax obligations of citizens and companies. It will be quite important. Large amounts of data will be used from multiple angles. It will lead to quicker and more accurate insights and more extensive, and it will be more complex. That means extra attention for quality assurance, for the data models, extra attention for reliability of the source data we use, for the working methods, and for the development of these insights. So you might say there's a lot to gain, and there is an absolute need for attention for these conditions as well. I'm going to conclude. There is a possibility of a great leap forwards for the Amsterdam tax organization on the starting point of working with the data-adopted methods and the employees filling that in. There is a necessity for fundamental questions, answering fundamental questions. What is possible? What is permissible? What is desirable? In the pilot we will start, these questions will be answered. Starting in the pilot this year, I skipped that point when I was searching in my presentation, and I can tell you that now. Starting a pilot in the trio I've mentioned with Centric and Dataiku, and making up the results at the end of the year, answering the questions whether or not this approach will be successful enough. I'm looking forward to that year, and with confidence and with vigilance, I look ahead of making up the scores and the results a year after now. Thank you for your attention, for the information about the Amsterdam tax service.